So for today's ride, just doing a quick little loop across the Radial trail, up to the top of the escarpment, and then back down again. Not too long. Hopefully it's not too muddy either. It rained pretty hard last night, so I was kind of worried that this trail would be kind of a mess today, but it doesn't look too bad now. Hopefully up ahead it stays like this. So we're just actually coming up to the entrance of the Scenic Municipal Golf Course, which is one of two municipal golf courses owned by the city of Hamilton. This is the one near me. Parking lot's usually pretty full of golfers around this time, as it is now. Man, this little part of trail is always sketchy too with the gravel. But there, we made it. So to my right you can see the Scenic Clubhouse. It's a little bit run down, but there's a restaurant out of there. And then what I just passed to my left there was the Scenic Stairs, which is a lot of people use for exercising. There, finally on some paved bit, which is nice. This bike. So if you're wondering what this trail used to be, it was the Hamilton-Brantford electric rail. That was put in, I'd say about 100 years ago, but discontinued not long after. I think once we get across this bridge, it turns into just a standard dirt path again. Thankfully, it's not too muddy. So it's hard to tell on camera, but this trail, so where I started it from, the top of my street is at the very base of the escarpment. But by the time I get to the end of this, I'll be at the top of the escarpment. So this whole thing is actually uphill, which you can probably tell by my panting. It's a bit harder than you think on dirt with a road bike, uphill like this. But it's not too long, about a kilometer or two, maybe more. Loose gravel there. There, got traction again. So this bridge I'm over right now is actually interesting. The style. I forget who the designer was, but it's a type of special box bridge. It was built in individual components that are then carried onto site and assembled, which in a space like that is nice when you can't access it with heavy equipment. I believe that type of bridge was a big factor in World War II. I thought that was sort of interesting. Got the people there maintaining the trail, that's good. That section in particular gets really bad after it rains, so it's nice to see the city maintaining it. It doesn't get too out of shape. I think we're pretty close to the top here. Realizing I should have done this route in the opposite direction, so you could have seen me right down this hill rather than up. But it is what it is. I can always edit out what I don't want or anything that's boring. Here there's actually a bit of a lookout. Well, I guess it's not too clear, but looks out over the highway. Up to, I believe, this is Princess Falls. It's not running very much right now, but sometimes when there's, in the spring, waterfall runs through here and goes over the edge of the escarpment. One of many waterfalls in Hamilton, which I've read somewhere. Hamilton has the waterfall city, waterfall capital of the world. That was interesting. All right, so we made it all the way to the top of the escarpment. Only a little bit out of breath. Now once we're to the top, it's pretty much all down from here, which is nice. I'm just getting on Scenic Drive here. It's a road that runs right along the edge of the mountain. Lots of nice houses here as well. I'm surprised how empty that parking lot is for the trailhead. It's usually really, really hard to drive here. How busy this trail gets. Hopefully it's not too windy and you guys can still hear what I'm saying. Bad headwind up here. I actually don't ride up on the mountain very often, so when I do, I always forget how different it feels up here compared to riding down the mountain where I usually am. You can see to my right some of the nice houses. believe what I'm getting close to is the original site for the mountain sanatorium, which is gone now, it's closed, but it opened in 1906, I believe. It's a sanatorium for TB patients. I done a project on this site not too long ago. Last term, it was 6 months ago, and it's quite interesting. I'll actually ride through and show you the original site, or at least part of it. So you can see this road through here, but on my right, this empty lot used to be where the Brow building sat, which was built in 1916, 1917, maybe earlier, maybe 1914, specifically for the incoming World War I soldiers with, or who needed to be treated for TB. And they actually built it farther away from the rest of the facility purposely, because I guess the soldiers were a little bit reckless and they wanted to keep the peace and quiet at the main site. To my left here is the old, I want to say Bisbee building. It was the original nurses' residence. But it's abandoned now. There's talk of turning it into some sort of residential development, but we'll see what happens. Straight ahead is where the original... That guy's letting me through. If I had gone straight there, that would have been the site of the original sanatorium. Most of those buildings have been torn down now. It's funny, these cars looking at me, wondering who I'm talking to. And it's windy through here. So we're just coming back up to the mountain brow now. The reason the road took us away was to go around a valley that I believe there's another waterfall at. But it's harder to access. Now coming up further is, well, I don't know the official name. I call it Shidok Park. It might have a different name, but on my left here, that's where the top of the Shidok stairs are. The stairs that I had pointed out towards the beginning of the video. So basically when we were going up the escarpment, we were headed west. And now we've made it to the top and now we're headed back east. I did not choose the right gear to get started there. So this is the part of Scenic that I'm most familiar with. Houses here are still nice, but a little bit older. A lot of 50s or 60s development. But you do see the occasional newer development going in. head around this curve, we're gonna go around just the top of Oak Falls. Fortunately, I can't see the falls because it actually runs underground through this park on the right and then over the edge of the cliff on the left. I know the site really well, actually. I did a different project regarding it, and actually a plan to daylight the creek, because since it's been buried now, there's a big problem with pollutants and other contaminants getting into the water and polluting our water system. So that site back there, I had proposed a redevelopment for a studio project. It wasn't for real. Would be neat if it were for real though. Alright, so we're just coming up to Garth. So I'm going to turn left here and then it'll take us back down the escarpment, down Queen Street Hill, or some people call it Beckett. Not a bad time to get some water. This can be a long light actually, but still tired from going up the escarpment, so this will be nice. Believe it or not, I've actually never ridden down this hill before. Driven down it hundreds, thousands of times, but never on my bike. So this will be new. Should be fun descent. Pretty smooth. Might be kind of windy before I get to the bottom though, so we'll see. Nice. And now it's just waiting at the bottom of Aberdeen. Alright, so I changed my mind here. I'm actually going to go right instead of waiting in that line of cars. Might actually be quicker. Alright. So this is not actually the way I intended to go, but it's a nice ride anyway. Thought I'd show you guys. So this area is Durand, which, believe it or not, has, I believe, one of the highest concentrations of Victorian mansions in Canada. Might not be true, I need to fact check that. But there's a lot of really old Nice houses through here. A lot of people who built these houses 100 plus years ago were owners of the steel industry. So obviously lots of money. So right now what I'm headed down is Bay Street. So I'll take this down until I get to another side street, which can then take me back to the way I was originally planning. It is a windy day though. And hit another red light. This building I pointed out here, Herkimer Apartments, I've heard that allegedly it was one of the first electrified buildings of the city, which is interesting. I guess sort of at the time, before Toronto grew into what it was, Hamilton was sort of the leader for a few aspects in terms of water and electricity, but fortunately not anymore. Right, I think I'm going to turn left here, but gotta wait. It's around the time a lot of people are coming home from work too, so probably wasn't the greatest time to pick to do a ride, but so far it's working. I don't know how long it's been so far actually. Not sure if I'm going to edit this video down or what I'm going to do. So this here is Charlton, headed west again. So we were headed west originally, and then east, and then west again. So we're sort of jogging back and forth as we go. It's like a movie shoot or a TV shoot happening here. It's nice to see. There's a lot of people coming to Hamilton now to shoot scenes from movies or shows, because I guess it's cheaper than some other cities, and that's something that Hamilton's pushing now, is sort of being one of its new industries is film. I believe there's either plans or construction of some studios going in some of the old industrial areas, which would be really nice to see. Alright, I think I'm gonna go straight. I usually turn left there, but that's usually later at night with less traffic. So I'm coming up to Lock Street now. Sort of a big, little shopping district in the area. It's gentrified a lot. A lot of people can't afford to be here anymore, which is fortunate, but right. Yeah, so this is Lock Street. So I think what I'm going to do is, at these lights, I'm going to turn left and then use that to cross Aberdeen, and then get back onto the side street, which will end the ride. Pretty short ride. Usually go for about an hour and a half, but that's too long of a video. one thing about today though is it's been humid. Really not a good day for a ride, honestly. That's I'm cutting it short. So this is actually Undermount, which comes into my neighborhood. Then I'll turn right onto Glenfern. And from there, that'll pretty much be it. Some nice more modern houses in here. I don't know the architect for that house, but these two to my right I have heard of, and nice houses. So now what we were on before, Glenfern, that's just sort of turned into South Street, which is what we're on now. A lot of speed bumps they've put in on the street. Sort of annoying, but I guess it's good for traffic, or annoying for traffic, and annoying for snowplows, but it is what it is. All right, and then returning right, and then back. I'm done during that hill we climbed in the other direction to get started. So yeah, this was just a quick little ride. Test out my microphone and equipment and stuff. I'll try to do more of these and edit them down, but in the meantime, I'll upload some more videos. All right.